Introduction. Memorials of the Past, the Land of Darkness, the Time of Ptah-hotep. Concerning the book, the Treatise of Kejimni, spread out flat, it measures about 23 feet 7 inches, with an average height of 5/7/8 of inches. It contains at present 18 pages of heavy and bold black and red writing. In the so-called hieratic character, the characters are clearly and carefully made, but are not always correct, as though the copyist had a badly written or very cursive copy before him and was not always sure of his spelling. The first of these books, of which only the last 2 pages remain, is a treatise on deportment, and is here called the Instruction of Kejimni. It has always been attributed to this person since its discovery, but examination of as much of the book as exists will show that it is not said to have been written by him, but in fact by Ptah-hotep. After a long stretch of blank papyrus, from which a third book has perhaps been erased, we come upon the Instruction of Ptah-hotep, in its entirety, divided into sections by red writing. As aforesaid, in these works we find little about the polytheistic Egypt. Ptah-hotep speaks to the ideals of balancing justice through Ma'at and Isfet. Ma'at symbolize truth, balance and order, law, morality, and justice. Ma'at is the daughter of Ra, and is the creator god of the Egyptian civilization. Ma'at is also the preeminent solar deity, who regulated the stars, seasons, and the actions of mortals and deities. Isfet is the opposite of Ma'at, represents chaos, injustice, uncleanliness, political unrest, and to do evil. In Egyptian mythology, the dead were cleansed of Isfet in order to pass on to Juet, in order to be judged by Ma'at. It was thought by Egyptians that if the forces Ma'at and Isfet were held in equilibrium, then harmony would befall Egypt. However, if one of them took more control, then the other would suffer, and so would Egypt. According to ancient Egyptian beliefs, Isfet and Ma'at built a complementary and also paradoxical dualism. One could not exist without its counterpart Isfet, and Ma'at balanced each other. Ma'at was to overcome Isfet, that which is difficult, evil, disharmonious, and troublesome. Isfet was to be overcome by good, which would replace disunity with unity, and disorder with order. An Egyptian king was appointed to achieve Ma'at, which means that he had to keep and protect justice and harmony by destroying Isfet. A responsible kingship meant that Egypt would remain in prosperity and at peace in Ma'at. However, if Isfet were to rise, humanity would decay and return to a primordial state. Decay was unacceptable as a natural course of events, which meant that the world was separated from the cosmos and away from order. The universe was cyclical, meaning it had repeated sequences: the daily sunset and its rising, annual seasons, and flooding of the Nile. On the other hand, when Ma'at was absent and Isfet unleashed, then the Nile flood failed and the country fell into famine. Therefore, ancient Egyptians believed through their rituals of the cosmic order it would bring forth prosperity to the gods and goddesses who controlled the cosmos. The principles of the contrariness between Isfet and Ma'at are exemplified in a popular tale from the Middle Kingdom, called the Moni of the Bedouin. Those who destroy the light promote Ma'at. Those who promote the good will erase the evil. As fullness casts out appetite, as clothes cover the nude, as heaven clears up after a storm. In the eyes of the Egyptians, the world was always ambiguous. The actions and judgments of a king were thought to simplify these principles in order to keep Ma'at by separating order from chaos, or good from evil. We find such characters in Ptah-hotep's handbook. Yet, most remarkable of all omissions, there is nothing said as to duties to the gods. In Egypt, whose gods are beyond counting, where almost everybody was a priest, Ptah-hotep, himself a holy father and beloved of the god, has no word to say on religious obligations, devoting his work entirely to the principles of charity and duty to one's neighbor. It is seemingly sufficient to him that one do the right in this world, without thinking over much about the other. This is the more curious in that other writers of the same class have many injunctions regarding worship and sacrifice, and so complete is his reserve touching this matter, so important in the eyes of other Egyptians, that it is easy to believe that it was intentional. We may even discern in him a protagonist of the modern ethical school, whose adherents may be interested to find their views implicitly held so long ago. Notwithstanding this singularity, Ptah-hotep is by no means unmindful of deity. We notice that he has occasion to speak several times of the god in his relation to humanity and human affairs. If we collect these references to the god, we shall find that the following qualities are attributed to him. He rewards diligence and punishes sin. He is the giver of good things, ph. 22, 30, 43, dispenses fate and preordains events, loves his creation, observes men's actions, desires them to be fruitful and multiply. All this is in complete accord with the belief of other religions, including Christianity, regarding the Godhead. And here we touch another pleasing characteristic of this most ancient of books, its Catholic spirit, and disregard of those mythological and esoteric riddles that most Egyptian works propound to us continually. It will be noticed that the god is not anywhere mentioned by name. Osiris and Horus are alluded to, but only historically, in respect of their rule upon earth, not as present powers. The reason is this, that at that time the gods, even the great gods, were only local, that is to say, their worship was confined to certain towns or districts, and beyond the boundaries of these their names lost that power and influence which they exerted in their peculiar provinces. The book, therefore, which spoke of one god only, by name, would have been found much limited as to popularity and use. Hence the old moralists and didactic writers, whatever god they might themselves worship, forbore to mention him, since by many readers he would not be recognized as paramount. They wrote instead, the god, that is, the god of your allegiance, whoever he may be. Thus, were the reader a native of Heliopolis, his god would be Anamu, the setting sun of Ptah-Memphis, Ptah-Hotep, the revealer of Hermopolis, Thoth, master of divine words and chief of the eight. It was for this reason that the unknown author of what is called the Negative Confession makes the deceased say, I have not scorned the god of my town. And, indeed, so simply and purely does Ptah-Hotep speak of the god that the modern reader can, without the least degradation of his ideals, consider the author as referring to the deity of monotheism, and if he be of Christendom, read God if of Islam, read Allah if of Juri and Jehovah. No doubt the gulf fixed between teaching and practice was as great then as now. We have the teaching, we know that the teaching was current all over Egypt in various forms, but of the practice we know very little. Human nature being much the same at all times and places, we must beware of measuring the one by the other, the unknown by the known, and must be content to take such counsels as showing the Egyptian. We know next to nothing about their laws, but we know that the law courts were busy, and that legal officials were numerous, and we know, further, that their duplicity and lack of straightforwardness were proverbial among the Greeks and Romans, and persist to this day. I have noted above the resemblance of the Egyptian instructions to the Jewish didactic books, Proverbs and Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament and Wisdom of Solomon and Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. This will be obvious to all readers. Compare, e.g., the opening of Ptah-Hotep with the opening of Proverbs. It is not immediately obvious of the similarities in their details. The instruction of Ptah-Hotep, the ethics of argument, manners for guests, from father to son, a just judge, the treatment of servants, duties of the great, the test of friendship, the beauty of obedience, one generation to another, whom the king honoreth, the instruction of the governor of his city, the vizier, Ptah-Hotep, in the reign of the king of Upper and Lower Egypt, Isosi, living forever, to the end of time. I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain men or women. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offerings. I have not stolen from God. Goddess, I have not told lies. I have not carried away food. I have not cursed. I have not closed my ears to truth. I have not committed adultery. I have not made anyone cry. I have not felt sorrow without reason. I have not assaulted anyone. I am not deceitful. I have not stolen anyone's land. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not falsely accused anyone. I have not been angry without reason. I have not seduced anyone's wife. I have not polluted myself. I have not terrorized anyone. I have not disobeyed the law. I have not been exclusively angry. I have not cursed God. Goddess, I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused disruption of peace. I have not acted hastily or without thought. I have not overstepped my boundaries of concern. I have not exaggerated my words when speaking. I have not worked evil. I have not used evil thoughts, words or deeds. I have not polluted the water. I have not spoken angrily or arrogantly. I have not cursed anyone in thought, word or deeds. I have not placed myself on a pedestal. I have not stolen what belongs to God. Goddess, I have not stolen from or disrespected the deceased. I have not taken food from a child. I have not acted with insolence. I have not destroyed property belonging to God. Goddess, of the governor of his city, the vizier Ptah-Hotep, he said, O prince, my lord, the end of life is at hand. Old age descendeth, feebleness cometh, and childishness is renewed. He that is old lieth down in misery every day. The eyes are small, the ears are deaf, energy is diminished, the heart hath no rest, the mouth is silent, and he speaketh no word. The heart stoppeth, and he remembereth not yesterday. The bones are painful throughout the body. Good turneth unto evil, all taste departeth. These things doth old age for mankind, being evil in all things. The nose is stopped, and he breatheth not for weakness. Whether standing or sitting, command me, thy servant, therefore, to make over my princely authority. To my children, let me speak unto him the words of them that hearken to the counsel of the men of old time, those that hearken unto the gods. I pray thee, let this thing be done, that sin may be banished from among persons of understanding, that thou may enlighten the lands. Said the majesty of this God, instruct him, then, in the words of old time. May he be a wonder unto the children of princes, that they may enter and hearken with him, make straight all their hearts, and discourse with him, without causing weariness. Here begin the proverbs of fair speech, spoken by the hereditary chief, the holy father, beloved of the God, the eldest son of the king, of his body, the governor of his city, the priest vizier, Ptah-hotep, when instructing the ignorant in the knowledge of exactness and fair speaking, the glory of him that obeyeth, the shame of him that transgresseth them. He said unto his son, 1. Be not proud because thou art learned, but discourse with the ignorant man, as with the sage, for no limit can be set to skill. Neither is there any craftsman that possesseth full advantages. Fair speech is more rare than the emerald that is found by slave maidens on the pebbles. 2. If thou find an arger talking, one that is well disposed and wiser, then thou let thine arms fall. Bend thy back, be not angry with him if he agree not with thee. Refrain from speaking evilly. Oppose him not at any time when he speaketh. If he address thee as one ignorant of the matter, thine humbleness shall bear away his contentions. 3. If thou find an arger talking, thy fellow, one that is within thy reach, keep not silence when he saith aught that is evil. So shalt thou be wiser than he. Great will be the applause on the part of the listeners, and thy name shall be good in the knowledge of princes. 4. If thou find an arger talking, a poor man, that is to say not thine equal, be not scornful toward him because he is lowly. Let him alone, then shall he confound himself. Question him not to please thine heart, neither pour out thy wrath upon him that is before thee. It is shameful to confuse a mean mind. If thou be about to do that which is in thine heart, overcome it as a thing rejected of princes. 5. If thou be a leader, as one directing the conduct of the multitude, endeavor always to be gracious, that thine own conduct be without defect. Great is truth, appointing a straight path. Never hath it been overthrown since the reign of Osiris. One that oversteppeth the laws shall be punished. Overstepping is by the covetous man, but degradations bear off his riches. For the season of his evil doing ceaseth not, for he saith, I will obtain by myself for myself, and saith not, I will obtain because I am allowed. But the limits of justice are steadfast. It is that which a man repeateth from his father. 6. Cause not fear among men, for the God punisheth likewise. For there is a man that saith, therein is life, and he is bereft of the bread of his mouth. There is a man that saith, power is therein, and he saith, I seize for myself that which I perceive. Thus a man speaketh, and he is smitten down. It is another that attaineth by giving unto him that hath not. Not he that causeth men dread, for it happeneth that what the God hath commanded, even that thing cometh to pass. Live, therefore, in the house of kindliness, and men shall come and give gifts of themselves. 7. If thou be among the guests of a man that is greater than thou, accept that which he giveth thee, putting it to thy lips. If thou look at him that is before thee, pierce him not with many glances. It is a port of the soul to stare at him. Speak not till he address thee. One knoweth not what may be evil in his opinion. Speak when he questioneth thee, so shall thy speech be good in his opinion. The noble who sitteth before food divideth it as his soul. Moveth him, he giveth unto him that he would favor. It is the custom of the evening meal. It is his soul that guideth his hand. It is the noble that bestoweth, not the underling that attaineth. Thus the eating of bread is under the providence of the God. He is an ignorant man that disputeth it. 8. If thou be an emissary sent from one noble to another, be exact after the manner of him that sent thee. Give his message even as he hath said it. Beware of making enmity by thy words, setting one noble against the other by perverting truth. Overstep it not, neither repeat that which any man, be he prince or peasant, saith in opening the heart. It is abhorrent to the soul. 9. If thou have plowed, gather thine harvest in the field, and the God shall make it great under thine hand. Fill not thy mouth at thy neighbor's table. If a crafty man be the possessor of wealth, he stealeth like a crocodile from the priests. Let not a man be envious that hath no children, let him be neither downcast nor quarrelsome on account of it. For a father, though great, may be grieved as to the mother of children. She hath less peace than another. Verily, each man is created by the God, who is the chief of a tribe, trustful in following him. 10. If thou be lowly, serve a wise man, that all thine actions may be fit before the God. If thou have known a man of none account that hath been advanced in rank, be not haughty toward him on account of that which thou knowest concerning him, but honor him that hath been advanced according to that which he hath become. Behold, riches come not of themselves. It is their rule for him that desireth them. If he bestir him and collect them himself, the God shall make him prosperous, but he shall punish him if he be slothful. 11. Follow thine heart during thy lifetime. Do not more than is commanded thee. Diminish not the time of following the heart. It is a port of the soul, that its time be taken away. Shorten not the daytime more than is needful to maintain thine house. When riches are gained, follow the heart, for riches are of no availeth. 1. Be wary. 12. If thou wouldest be a wise man, beget a son for the pleasing of the God, if he make straight his course after thine example. If he arrange thine affairs in due order, do unto him all that is good. 4. Thy son is he, begotten of thine own soul. Sunder not thine heart from him, or thine own begotten shall curse. If he be heedless and trespass thy rules of conduct, and is violent, if every speech that cometh from his mouth be a vile word, then beat thou him. That his talk may be fitting. Keep him from those that make light of that which is commanded, for it is they that make him rebellious. And they that are guided go not astray, but they that lose their bearings cannot find a straight course. 13. If thou be in the chamber of council, act always according to the steps enjoined on thee at the beginning of the day. Be not absent, or thou shalt be expelled, but be ready in entering and making report. Wide is the seat of one that hath made address. The council chamber acteth by strict rule, and all its plans are in accordance with method. It is the God that advanceth one to a seat therein. The like is not done for ale-bowers. 14. If thou be among people, make for thyself love, the beginning and end of the heart. One that knoweth not his course shall say in himself, he that ordereth himself duly becometh the owner of wealth. I shall copy his conduct. Thy name shall be good, though thou speak not. Thy body shall be fed, thy face shall be among thy neighbors. Thou shalt be provided with what thou lackest. As to the man whose heart obeyeth his belly, he causeth disgust in place of love. His heart is wretched, his body is gross. He is insolent toward those in doubt of the God. He that obeyeth his belly hath an enemy. 15. Report thine actions without concealment. Discover thy conduct, when in counsel with thine overlord. It is not evil for the envoy that his report be not answered. Yea, I know it, by the prince, for that which he knoweth includeth not. If he think that you will oppose him on account of it, he will be silent, because I have spoken. 16. If thou be a leader, cause that the rules that thou hast enjoined be carried out, and do all things as one that remembereth the days coming after, when speech availeth not. Be not lavish of favors, it leadeth to servility, producing slackness. 17. If thou be a leader, be gracious when thou hearkenest unto the speech of a suppliant. Let him not hesitate to deliver himself of that which he hath thought to tell thee, but be desirous of removing his injury. Let him speak freely, that the thing for which he hath come to thee may be done. If he hesitate to open his heart, it is said, is it because he doth the wrong that no entreaties are made to him concerning it by those to whom it happeneth? But a well-timed heart hearkeneth readily. 18. If thou desire to continue friendship in any abode wherein thou enterest, be it his master, as brother, or as friend, wheresoever thou goest, beware of consorting with women. No place prospereth wherein that is done, nor is it prudent to take part in it. 1,000 men have been ruined for the pleasure of a little time short as a dream. Even death is reached thereby. It is a wretched thing. As for the evil liver, one leaveth him for what he doth. He is avoided. If his desires be not gratified, he regardeth no laws. 19. If thou desire that thine actions may be good, save thyself from all malice, and beware of the quality of covetousness, which is a grievous inner malady. Let it not chance that thou fall thereinto. It setteth at variance fathers-in-law, and the kinsmen of the daughter-in-law. It sundereth the wife and the husband. It gathereth unto itself all evils. It is the girdle of all wickedness. But the man that is just flourisheth, truth goeth in his footsteps, and he maketh habitations therein, not in the dwelling of covetousness. 20. Be not covetous as touching shares, in seizing that which is not thine own property. Be not covetous toward thy neighbors. For with a gentle man praise availeth more than might. He cometh empty from among his neighbors, being void of the persuasion of speech. One hath remorse for even a little covetousness when his belly cooleth. 21. If thou wouldest be wise, provide for thine house, and love thy wife that is in thine arms. Fill her stomach, clothe her back. Oil is the remedy of her limbs. Gladden her heart during thy lifetime, for she is an estate profitable unto its Lord. Be not harsh, for gentleness mastereth her more than strength. Give to her that for which she sigheth, and that toward which her eye looketh. So shalt thou keep her in thine house. 22. Satisfy thine hired servants out of such things as thou hast. It is the duty of one that hath been favored of the God. In sooth, it is hard to satisfy hired servants. For one saith, he is a lavish person, one knoweth not that which may come. But on the morrow he thinketh, he is a person of exactitude, content therein. And when favors have been shown unto servants, they say, we go. Peace dwelleth not in that town wherein dwell servants that are wretched. 23. Repeat not extravagant speech, neither listen thereto. For it is the utterance of a body heated by wrath. When such speech is repeated to thee, hearken not thereto. Look to the ground, speak not regarding it, that he that is before thee may know wisdom. If thou be commanded to do a theft, bring it to pass that the command be taken off thee. For it is a thing hateful according to law. That which destroyeth the vision is the veil over it. 24. If thou wouldest be a wise man, and one sitting in counsel with his overlord, apply thine heart unto perfection. Silence is more profitable unto thee than abundance of speech. Consider how thou may be opposed by an expert that speaketh in counsel. It is a foolish thing to speak on every kind of work, for he that disputeth thy words shall put them unto proof. 25. If thou be powerful, make thyself to be honored for knowledge and for gentleness. Speak with authority, that is, not as if following injunctions, for he that is humble falleth into errors. Exalt not thine heart, that it be not brought low. Be not silent, but beware of interruption, and of answering words with heat. Put it far from thee. Control thyself. The wrathful heart speaketh fiery words. It darteth out at the man of peace that approacheth, stopping his path. One that reckoneth accounts all the day passeth not in happy moment. One that gladdeneth his heart all the day provideth not for his house. The bowman hitteth the mark, as the steersman reacheth land. By diversity of aim, he that obeyeth his heart shall command. 26. Let not a prince be hindered when he is occupied, neither oppress the heart of him that is already laden, for he shall be hostile toward one that delayeth him, but shall bear his soul unto one that loveth him. The disposal of souls is with the God, and that which he loveth is his creation. Set out, therefore, after a violent quarrel, be at peace with him that is hostile unto his opponent. It is such souls that make love to grow. 27. Instruct a noble in such things as be profitable unto him. Cause that he be received among men. Let his satisfaction fall on his master, for thy provision dependeth upon his will. By reason of it thy belly shall be satisfied, thy back will be clothed thereby. Let him receive thine heart, that thine house may flourish, and thine honor, if thou wish it to flourish. Thereby he shall extend thee a kindly hand. Further, he shall implant the love of thee in the bodies of thy friends. Forsooth, it is a soul loving to hearken. 28. If thou be the son of a man of the priesthood, and an envoy to conciliate the multitude, speak thou without favoring one side. Let it not be said, his conduct is that of the nobles, favoring one side in his speech. Turn thine aim toward exact judgments. 29. If thou have been gracious at a former time, having forgiven a man, to guide him aright, shun him. Remind him not after the first day that he hath been silent to thee. 30. If thou be great, after being of no account, and hast gotten riches after squalor, being foremost in these in the city, and hast knowledge concerning useful matters, so that promotion is come unto thee, then swat not thine heart in thine hoard. For thou art become the steward of the endowments of the God. Thou art not the last. Another shall be thine equal, and to him shall come the like fortune and station. 31. Bend thy back unto thy chief, thine overseer in the king's palace, for thine house dependeth upon his wealth, and thy wages in their season. How foolish is one that quarreleth with his chief, for one liveth only while he is gracious. Plunder not the houses of tenants, neither steal the things of a friend, lest he accuse thee in thine hearing, which thrusteth back the heart. If he know of it, he will do thee an injury. Quarreling in place of friendship is a foolish thing. If thou wouldest seek out the nature of a friend, ask it not of any companion of his, but pass a time with him alone. That thou injure not his affairs, debate with him after a season, test his heart in it, occasion of speech, when he hath told thee his past life. He hath made an opportunity that thou may either be ashamed for him or be familiar with him. Be not reserved with him when he openeth speech, neither answer him after a scornful manner. Withdraw not thyself from him, neither interrupt him whose matter is not yet ended, whom it is possible to benefit. 34. Let thy face be bright what time thou liest. That which goeth into the storehouse must come out therefrom, and bread is to be shared. He that is grasping in entertainment shall himself have an empty belly. He that causeth strife cometh himself to sorrow. Take not such an one for thy companion. It is a man's kindly acts that are remembered of him in the years after his life. 35. Know well thy merchants, for when thine affairs are in evil case, thy good repute among thy friends is a channel which is filled. It is more important than the dignities of a man, and the wealth of one passeth to another. The good repute of a man's son is a glory unto him, and a good character is for remembrance. 36. Correct chiefly, instruct conformably. Vice must be drawn out, that virtue may remain, nor is this a matter of misfortune. For one that is a gainsayer becometh a strife maker. 37. If thou make a woman to be ashamed, wanton of heart, one known by her townsfolk to be falsely placed, be kind unto her for a space, send her not away, give her to eat, the wantonness of her heart shall esteem thy guidance. See if thou obey these things that I have said unto thee, all thy demeanor shall be of the best, for, verily, the quality of truth is among their excellences. Set the memory of them in the mouths of the people, for their proverbs are good. Nor shall any word that hath here been set down cease out of this land forever, but shall be made a pattern whereby princes shall speak well. They shall instruct a man how he shall speak after he hath heard them. Yea, he shall become as one skillful in obeying, excellent in speaking, after he hath heard them. Good fortune shall befall him, for he shall be of the highest rank. He shall be gracious to the end of his life. He shall be contented always. His knowledge shall be his guide into a place of security, wherein he shall prosper while on earth. The scholar shall be content in his knowledge. As to the prince, in his turn, forsooth, his heart shall be happy, his tongue made straight, and his lips shall speak. His eyes shall see, and his ears shall hear, that which is profitable for his son, so that he deal justly, void of deceit. 38. A splendid thing is the obedience of an obedient son. He cometh in, and listeneth obediently. Excellent in hearing, excellent in speaking, is every man that obeyeth what is noble, and the obedience of an obeyer is a noble thing. Obedience is better than all things that are. It maketh good will. How good it is that a son should take that from his father by which he hath reached old age. That which is desired by the God is obedience. Disobedience is abhorred of the God. Verily, it is the heart that maketh its master to obey or to disobey. For the safe and sound life of a man are his heart. Is the obedient man that obeyeth what is said. He that loveth to obey, the same shall carry out commands. He that obeyeth becometh one obeyed. It is good indeed when a son obeyeth his father, and he that hath spoken hath great joy of it. Such a son shall be mild as a master, and he that heareth him shall obey him that hath spoken. He shall be comely in body and honored by his father. His memory shall be in the mouths of the living, those upon earth, as long as they exist. 39. Let a son receive the word of his father, not being heedless of any rule of his. Instruct thy son, for the obedient man is one that is perfect in the opinion of princes. If he direct his mouth by what hath been enjoined him, watchful and obedient, thy son shall be wise, and his going seemly. Heedlessness leadeth unto disobedience on the morrow, but understanding shall establish him. As for the fool, he shall be crushed. 40. As for the fool, devoid of obedience, he doth nothing. Knowledge he regardeth as ignorance, profitable things as hurtful things. He doth all kind of errors, so that he is rebuked therefore every day. He lieth in death therewith, it is his food. At chattering speech he marvelleth, as at the wisdom of princes, living in death every day. He is shunned because of his misfortunes, by reason of the multitude of afflictions that cometh upon him every day. 41. The son that hearkeneth is as a follower of Horus. He is good after he hearkeneth. He groweth old, he reacheth honor and reverence. He repeateth in like manner to his sons and daughters, so renewing the instruction of his father. Each man instructeth as did his begetter, repeating it unto his children. Let them speak with their sons and daughters, that they may be famous in their deeds. But that which thou speakest implant true things, and just in the life of thy children. Then the highest authority shall arrive, and sins depart, and such men as see these things shall say, surely that man hath spoken to good purpose, and they shall do likewise. But surely that man was experienced, and all people shall declare, it is they that shall direct the multitude. Dignities are not complete without them. Take not any word away, neither add one, set not one in the place of another. Beware of opening in thyself. Be wary of speech when a learned man hearkeneth unto thee. Desire to be established for good in the mouth of those that hear thee speaking. If thou have entered as an expert, speak with exact lips, that thy conduct may be seemly. 42. Be thine heart overflowing, but refrain thy mouth. Let thy conduct be exact while amongst nobles, and seemly before thy Lord, doing that which he hath commanded. Such a son shall speak unto them that hearken to him. Moreover, his begetter shall be favored. Apply thine heart, what time thou speakest, to saying things such that the nobles who listen declare, how excellent is that which cometh out of his mouth. 43. Carry out the behest of thy Lord to thee. How good is the teaching of a man's father, for he hath come from him, who hath spoken of his son while he was yet unborn. And that which is done for him is more than that which is commanded him. Forsooth, a good son is. Of the gift of the God, he doth more than is enjoined on him. He doth right, and putteth his heart into all his goings. D, if now thou attain my position, thy body shall flourish. The king shall be content in all that thou doest, and thou shalt gather years of life not fewer than I have passed upon earth. I have gathered even 60 years of life, for the king hath bestowed upon me favors more than upon my forefathers. This because I wrought truth and justice for the king unto mine old age. It is finished from its beginning to its end, even as found in writing.